And without a doubt, one of my favorite ways to have this is on English muffin. Concord Grape pepper jelly. Now when I say pepper jelly, it's basically a jam, but when I say pepper, I mean actual spicy. So I am going to use a Scotch bonnet pepper in here. If you want to, if you wanted, you can use bell peppers, any sort of mild pepper, totally up to you. But what I have here is 4 cups of Concord grapes. This has seeds, so what I'll have to do is to break it down, extract the juice out of it, and then we're going to use the juice later. We're going to have to strain it. Now if you want to get any sort of red grape will work. This will happen to be Concord grapes. Man, does it ever smell good. Seedless grapes will work great. You don't need to worry about the skin and stuff like that, but the seeds is gonna be we don't want seeds in pepper jelly, man. So what I'm gonna do now is put a splash of water in there. So maybe 1/4 cup of water. I'm gonna turn on the stove and I'm gonna bring that up to a boil. Within a couple minutes it will come up to a boil. If you are not using, I ended up using a full cup of water in here because I really want to extract as much juice as I can. If you're leaving the skins, and the skin gives it a good texture, so if you're using seedless grapes and you're keeping the skin, and you won't be doing the sort of straining and filtering out the skin and seeds as I would be doing, I would recommend just going in with 1/4 cup of water. But because I'm trying to extract a lot of juice out of this, in total I'm gonna go in with 1.5 cups of water. It won't take long. It's gonna start breaking down, and notice the skin from that Concord grape is giving it that brilliant grape color. Man, does it ever smell nice and fruity in here? We're 20 minutes into things and it's really falling apart quite nicely. I'm still gonna go in with my potato masher and just break up any sort of remnants of big chunky grapes in there. And if you did make it with the skin on, like I said earlier or mentioned earlier, the texture of it would just be incredible. But for now, what I'm gonna do here now is turn off the stove and I'm gonna strain this. All I want is the juice out of this, but I'm just gonna give it another couple minutes to cool down. I'm not trying to burn himself, you know what I mean? And this is very simple. 4 ingredients: sugar, grapes, a touch of water, no pectin or anything like that. We're using sugar, and it's gonna be quite a bit of sugar. So diabetics, they cannot indulge in this one here. And of course, I have a Scotch bonnet pepper here that I'm going to chop up. Yes, my Concord grape pepper jelly, it's going to be spicy. When I hear pepper, I want spicy. That is just the way I am. So I'm going to chop up one of these, seeds and everything, and we're going to add it as we go on. Squeeze all of that lovely Concord grape juice off camera. Let's quickly show you what we were left with. And notice some seeds and stuff like that that's in there. Unfortunately, that goes into the rubbish or the compost or something like that. We can't use that. This is the diced up Scotch bonnet pepper, really fine dice, seeds and everything. Now remember, if you wanted, you can leave out the heat element of this, but this is a spicy Concord grape jelly. Yeah, so of course there's got to be that spicy element in there. Just gonna hit that a stir. I started off with 4 cups of Concord grapes, 3 cups of sugar. A lot of sugar, but since we're not using pectin, I need that sugar in here to help me get that gel consistency that we're looking for. Just gonna give that a couple stir. I'm gonna turn my stove on, and we want to bring that up to a boil. Took a couple minutes to come up to a boil, and I want it to go on a rolling boil because we need to reduce this down a bit. Be very careful, yeah? There's a lot of sugar in there, and with the addition of that sugar and the temperature of everything there, it can burn you, so be very careful when you're stirring it. I want it on that sort of a rolling boil there. We're trying to achieve a temperature of 220 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is called the sort of gel stage. Remember, we're not using pectin we're using the natural pectin in the grapes is along with that sugar. So we really got to reduce this down a bit to get to that gel stage so it will set later on. It took about 20 minutes, but according to my candy thermometer here, I am at the 220 mark. So I'm just gonna take that off. We're gonna shut off the stove. We're gonna give that a final little mix, and then it's a matter of pouring it into your whatever containers that you're going to be storing it in. It just so happened I have these mason jars, these small mason jars, yeah. But you can see, I don't know if I'm going to burn my hands or bad, but see the separation there, boy? Oh, is that ever nice, boy? Wow. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, then Butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? Irie. And without a doubt, one of my favorite ways to have this is on English muffins. You know, lightly to, well, I like it a bit over toasted for some, more than others, I guess. Got some crumbs all over the place here, but I'll show you the texture. And this is the texture of it. It's set. I had it in the fridge there for about an hour just to speed things up. But you just leave it on the counter and it will set because of the amount of sugar and everything else that we have on there. What I like doing is making it into small bottles, as you saw there. So different sizes, a big one, that's the everyday one, that one there. You know, holidays are coming up. Why not make these, put them in a little fancy little jar, put a little ribbon on there. It makes a great gift as well. Concord Grape Pepper Jelly. I'm telling you, boy, this thing is just incredible. I really can't because I'm diabetic. But if you want to put a diabetic friendly sweetener, totally up to you how you sweeten this. It's totally up to you. Not a Caribbean recipe. Yeah, Concord grapes don't grow in the Caribbean, but I also have, if you go to CaribbeanPot.com, one that I did with sorrel, and that one is just incredible as well too. I do hope you guys get the opportunity to give this one a try. It is so easy, a great little breakfast something, and I'm telling you, yo, this weekend is Thanksgiving Day in Canada on Monday. Our Thanksgiving is before the one in the US. Rather than that cranberry sauce with your turkey and your mashed potato and everything else, why don't you give this a try? I'm telling you, boy. Or stick to tradition. Have that cranberry sauce. Let me put a little bit more on here to show you again. But also half and half with some of this Concord grape jelly. And remember, it has that kick, but you can personalize it to your own liking. Yeah? Always a pleasure. Irie? Irie.